Hello everyone, Michigan Railfan 57 here. Over the summer of 2024, I caught a whole bunch of trains thanks to my scanner and an app I found that alerts me of any southbound trains in Plymouth. I caught so many trains, I couldn't put them all in one video. It would be way too long, so I decided to split them up by each month. This month in particular, being August, I caught the most trains out of any month over the summer, as I didn't have to go on any trips or anything throughout most of the month. Since I caught so many trains this month, I'll be splitting it into two parts. The second half of August, while not as crazy as the first in terms of rare catches, was still a very fun month to railfan, and still consisted of some neat surprises. Anyways, on to the video. To start off, we begin in Plymouth, where I arrived just in time to catch GP 40-2, number 6072 heading light. After he cleared, I would catch another light move in Plymouth to finish the outing. I believe this was M267, which had probably dropped his cars in Wayne and New Boston. The power consisted of a Tier 4 GEVO on the point and a Mac rebuild trailing second. Anyways, that's enough yapping from me. Let's watch the power around the Y as he heads through Plymouth. Later in the day, I caught a grain train at the usual spot. Unfortunately, I was rushed to get there and forgot to set my zoom, providing a somewhat different perspective from my usual one. The next day, I caught one train, being an auto rack led by a solo AC44. I wasn't sure if this was M268 or M209, so it's one of the two. The day after that, I caught another auto-rack train, this time led by a CM44 rebuild. Once again, I was unsure whether this was M268 or M209. Later in the day, after running some errands, I would get stopped by M508, another northbound manifest on the Saginaw sub, with a very neat surprise on the point. As you just saw, M508 had CSX 1852, the Western Maryland Heritage Unit, on the point. I knew that M508 had this unit, but I assumed I missed it overnight. What luck that I happened to be at the right place at the right time. As if the foaming never stops, a few days later I saw that B522 was making his way south. As I've stated before, B522 almost always runs at night, making this a somewhat rare occurrence. But the thing that made today's train special was what was leading it. CSX 5284 was on the point, and while this may look like a normal DC GEVO, it actually has something very unique about it, being its rare Nathan K5 HLB horn. This train also had the friendliest conductor I've ever seen to this day. What a neat surprise that was. Not only was the train B522 with a rare horn, but a conductor throwing me a hat out the window, absolutely incredible. Thank you so much to the conductor that threw the hat to some crazy foamer waving to you. You made him very happy indeed, and I hope everything's going good for you. Back to the trains, B522 would end up stopping for a reason I cannot figure out to this day, so I folded up my tripod and took my brand new trophy home. The final train I caught today was I-151 slowly making its way south. Track maintenance was happening around now, so many trains had to go really slow or possibly stop while it was occurring. The power wasn't all that interesting, as usual, but something interesting was the do not hump boxcar behind the power. The next day, I caught B522 yet again, with normal power on the point, but once again, a very friendly crew. A few hours later, I caught M511 coming south with an interesting surprise. It had the same BNSF H2-9 trailing that was on B522 a couple weeks ago. This time, however, I caught it in much better lighting, and with a nice horn salute from the leading GEVO. A few hours later, I caught I-151 with CM44AC number 7023 on the point. If this unit looks familiar, this is the same unit that trapped me while I was waiting for the C&O Heritage unit. It does, however, have a very nice square tag K5LA, so I guess we're on good terms now. Later that evening, I caught L310 heading south for the Romulus area. He happened to have GP40-2 6072 on the point, sporting its signature quiet horn. My camera was having SD card issues, so this was another phone video. After L through 10 cleared, I saw that there was a northbound coming, so I stayed out a little bit longer to catch what I believe was M511 with 2 GEVOs on the point. Thankfully, my camera worked for this train. The next day, I came to the conclusion that 1852, the Western Maryland Heritage Unit we saw earlier, was coming back south on M511 after coming back north on B523, which I definitely didn't miss in perfect lighting. Anyways, that morning, I was up early, and sure enough, M511 was making his way through Plymouth. However, when I got to the tracks, I saw a surprise in the form of another train in the distance coming north. I decided to sit up on the side the sun was on, as I did not want the Heritage Unit to be backlit and blocked by some random northbound. Soon, M511 arrived, with the Western Maryland now in the trailing position. You might have noticed something about the footage being different from most of my usual camera footage. Yes, this was shot on my phone. Now, you might be wondering, oh, Michigan Railfan 57, why didn't you use your better camera? I did. The SD card in my camera decided at the worst time to have problems, and it stopped my recording. Now, this wasn't a new issue. The SD cards I purchased seem to be a bit faulty, with videos sometimes glitching out, becoming corrupted, or like here, not having enough memory to record videos. But now, with the Heritage Unit literally in front of me, I was pretty disappointed. But thankfully, I always use my phone to record backup videos in case something like this happens, as my camera is pretty old, which is the only reason you're seeing this video right now. As if to add insult to injury, look what met M511. It was B523 with the K5 HLB GEVO leading. How do I mess up this badly? Camera issues on a Heritage Unit and having the K5 HLB GEVO blocked by its train? This was probably my worst L over the summer, and it made me pretty disappointed. However, at least I had my phone with me to record the Heritage Unit, so I guess that's a plus. The next train I caught was a backlit L314 with a DC GEVO on the point, and thankfully a very friendly crew to make up for today's incidents. However, it couldn't prevent the next L I managed to take. The next day, I woke up rather late to see my phone say Farmer Street was clear. I immediately rushed out of the house and sprinted for dear life to get to the crossing, but there was a little I could do before the gates activated and I saw this pass right in front of me. How do I keep messing up this badly? M511 happened to have 2 Mac rebuilds, an all EMD lash up, and I couldn't get a good shot of it because I was sleeping. This managed to be 2 L's in 1. As you can see, the video cut off very quickly because my camera was having SD card issues again. What a way to start the day. Anyways, here's 7023 again with I-151. Later that night, I caught L310 again with 6072 on the point once again. It was around this time I began to like this locomotive a lot more, as it was a standard cab and had a quiet horn that gave it some character. Note the horn salute as the 6072 passes. The next day, I caught either M268 or M209, once again I don't know, with an AC44 on the point that had an interesting horn sequencer that played a short and a long for each horn blast. This train was also going stupidly slow, probably because of the track maintenance that was happening. Later, I went to Plymouth again to see if I could catch anything. I ended up catching a local led by none other than SD40-3 number 4035. I believe this was L311, but I'm not entirely sure. The next and final train of the day was I-150 making the slow crawl through Plymouth with a Tier 4 GEVO on the point. My final train of the summer was nothing special, but nothing super boring either. It was a local train, L315, led by GP40-2 6072 during 90-degree weather. An interesting way to end the summer, but I'll gladly take the standard cab over any SpongeBob. Overall, while the second half of August wasn't as crazy and cool as the first half, it still had some really fun catches. While I fumbled some pretty foam-worthy catches thanks to technology issues, I still managed to get some pretty cool ones as well. While summer railfanning may now be over, I've been railfanning whenever I can throughout fall and winter, and I've gathered some more great catches that I cannot wait to share with you all. From catching rare horns and friendly crews to foreign power, and even seeing a heritage unit twice, this certainly was a time to remember. Thank you all for watching. This is Michigan Railfan 57 signing off. Have a great day.